Welcome back to the channel. Hey, in this episode, I want to talk about the one time that I walked into the middle of an ATF sting. This takes us back 8 to 10 years during the Fast and the Furious. Actually, it's a little bit past the Fast and the Furious scandals with the cartels and our government. But so I kind of want to talk a little bit about how that went down. Unfortunately, I did not get the best camera angles on this one, but it should still be pretty entertaining. And well, let's roll that intro and get into Tales from the Blacktop. All right, guys, see you in a second. All right, guys, welcome back once again to the channel. And let's do a little bit of stories from the Blacktop. So today's story is about the time I walked in on a ATF sting. Yes, an ATF sting. So this was back 8 years ago or so, 6-8 years ago, back during the whole Fast and the Furious gun running scandal into Mexico and our government covering up us selling the cartel weapons. Anyway, we had a customer come in one day looking for quite a few AK-47s, like 3 or 4. And so nothing really unusual, to be honest with you. He came in and said, hey, I'm an avid shooter, got some sons, we like going to the range, we really like the AK platform, want to buy some. So okay, well, at that time, if you purchased more than, if you purchased 2 or more semi-automatic firearms, either AR, AK, semi-automatic pistols, they could be a rifle pistol combination, 2 or more, you had to fill out a multi-purchase piece of paperwork that got sent to the ATF. And so fill it out, everything goes through, background check comes back, and man, about a week later, ATF said they're looking for this guy because he's suspected running guns for the cartel, doing a straw purchase. If he calls you back looking for him, let us know if he's going to come in. So sure enough, like I said, a couple of days later, actually, it wasn't that long afterwards, he calls up looking for, I think it was like another 3 or 4. And like, yeah, we have, let's say he wanted 3, we had 2. Like, yeah, we have 2. He's like, okay, I'll be there within an hour. Come and purchase them. So the owner calls the ATF, says, hey, all right, so he's on his way in to purchase more. This is why Houston traffic sucks. There's people like this guy right here. So he comes in, or ATF's notified. ATF starts setting up basically a sting. So they call HPD, Violent Crimes, and Gang Task Force, and of course ATF
is setting it up. All right, back to the story. So, gang task force notified. They come in and they're setting up. They're getting ready. Guy shows up, starts doing the deal for the 2 rifles. There's oh man, I'm like so, that dude just fucking, oh, I'm sorry guys. So HPD's in there, got 2 guys undercover. One's in a Nike tracksuit, the other is in a Jiffy Lube shirt that's totally clean, no oil, no dirt. I mean, if you were paying attention, you'd be like, that's a little odd. So that's the second clue that I should have picked up on. The first clue was the parking lot was abnormally full for lunchtime. So anyway, it's lunchtime and I'm going in there to do some work. And so, like I said, I pull into the parking lot. Lots of extra cars in the parking lot. Lots more than normal. And I walk in and I see these 2 gentlemen. And there's actually a 4th guy down at the other counter talking to the boss. Third clue, boss is never there during the day because he runs another business. So when I walk in the door, everybody looks at me with this weird look on their face, and I'm just kind of like, oh, okay, what's up? So the first 2 guys, the guys in the tracksuit and the guy in the Jiffy Lube suit, are actually purchasing a rifle. They are filling out the paperwork themselves, talking, bullshitting like nothing's wrong. So the guy that the suspect is actually, by the time I walk in, is waiting on his background check to come back. So, I walk behind the counter. I start talking to the 4th guy and the owner, just chit-chatting. And he gets up and he leaves. He walks out. And then the 2 other gentlemen walk out after they completed their purchase. Okay, still nothing really odd, right? Well, then the guy, okay, paperwork comes back. All right, you're good. Everything's good. You're cleared. You came back. Next check came back to proceed. So that's when I get handed the 4473 to double check everything, make sure there's no issues, no misprints, no boxes checked wrong. And transaction is completed. Guy takes his firearms, walks out the door where he's got a Jag, like a J30, parked right outside the front door. He walks to the truck, pops the truck. As soon as he lays these 2 firearms in the boxes into the trunk, ATF swarms in. Boom, cars all over the freaking place. It's like from the movies, the black undercover SUVs and everything. So I turn around and I go, what the fuck is going on? And so my buddy goes, yeah, that's an ATF sting. So supposedly this guy's been running guns for the cartel, and they've been looking for him, and they finally caught up to him because he's had a couple of bad checks. I'm aggressive today. So he's like, yeah, the two guys that were right up by the door when you walked in were HPD, violent crimes, and gang task force. The other guy that you were talking to was the ATF agent. At this time, the ATF agent actually comes back in, and of course he's in plain clothes, and he just starts talking to us, telling us a story, how they've been looking for the guy. They found his address, but apparently he had skipped out on it. He'd written a couple of hot checks and just bounced. So So then we got to talking, and I was all like, I knew something was up. All the cars, and the two guys in here purchasing. I didn't think anything of it, and they go, yeah, you saw the one dude had a Jiffy Lube shirt on, right? And I'm like, yeah. And they go, did you notice it was clean? I was like, oh yeah. He's like, yeah, they just went and they picked one up. It's like part of their undercover stuff. And I was like, but they bought a firearm. They go, yeah, they were in here for about 30-45 minutes before the guy showed up. Started looking around, and we have like the best prices. So they're like, man, these are like really great prices, and ended up picking up one. So I was like, man, that's crazy. So I know this story kind of got a little bit out of hand and over and under. I had been dealing with some crazy ass mofos in this Houston, driving like ass monkeys. But so that is the time that I walked in to the middle of an ATF sting. So stay tuned. Hopefully I can have a few more of these tales from the blacktop. Till then, rock on.
All right, so there you have it. Pretty cool little story. Hopefully y'all liked it. If you did, go ahead and hit that like button. If you're not already a subscriber, go ahead and hit that subscribe button if you enjoyed the content. Hopefully I'll start getting a little bit more out, not be so sporadic. I did chop off part of my thumb, so that's been a little bit of an issue here lately, not just with videos, but also with airbrushing and painting. So I've been more of a we won't worry about that.